From lovely downtown Denver, I am Dan Kingerski on the National Hockey Now and the Pittsburgh Hockey Now YouTube channel. It's been a long couple of days here in the Mile High City. I haven't really felt the altitude. Of course, I just walked. I didn't try to run anywhere. Had some great food. Found one of the little diners, drives, and dive-ins just a couple blocks from the hotel, or actually right between my hotel and the arena. Enjoyed a giant, they called it a burger. It was a burrito with a hamburger patty in it, covered in green chili and jalapeno peppers and scallions, and oh, it was good. And I've been paying for it for 2 days as well. I also found a pool hall. And I must say, Pittsburgh needs a genuine pool hall. Nice little bar, cool, chill place. Doesn't exist. It's like a little tourist trap, Let's add some duck pin bowling or something goofy like that. So let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins, shall we? The Penguins played one of their more complete games of the season, a 5-2 beatdown of the Colorado Avalanche at Ball Arena. I don't quite know where to go with the analysis. Now, bear in mind, I stopped myself at about 1,400 words in the PHN Plus report card. I kind of just pulled back because I could have written for days on that game. And in fairness, I will give away the ending of the report card. A lot of guys got A's for Wednesday night. I used some glowing adjectives to describe lots of the guys on Wednesday night. I thought they deserved it. Now, let's, before I get to the questions and the submissions via Twitter, if you don't, make sure to follow me at the Dan Kingerski. Yes, there's a "the" in there because some troll took every variation of my name a few years ago. I don't think they ever used them, but they just took them because they could. So I got even. The Dan Kingerski. Follow me on Twitter. So when I tweet out for questions and submissions, you can participate in these little chats, which seem to have become a little cottage industry for me the last couple of weeks. Of course, they do better after losses when you want to vent and get angry. Some of the questions tonight, because you couldn't get angry at the Penguins, well, you get angry at me. I'm not sure what I did to y'all, or yins, but it's okay. I've gone through worse today. Let's talk about the one thing before I get to the actual questions from Twitter. There is one big thing that I want to highlight for you that I don't know that a lot of fans would have noticed. First of all, Mike Sullivan's deployment after the Avalanche scored both of their goals. Also, the Penguins' response after they scored both of their goals. The Penguins' response too often this season has been to pull back, to get on their heels, to almost wave the white flag or roll out the red carpet for continued momentum by the other team. They make some high-risk pass or risky play trying to, try to get the puck in the offensive zone or score a goal, and it usually winds up in the back of their net. Or at least the puck winds up in the Penguins' defensive zone, and they compound one goal with momentum. What they did on Wednesday night was very specifically fought back. The next shift, face-off wins helped. Puck pursuit was key. They got the puck into the offensive zone and kept it there. After the first goal, Ryan Poehling centered Mikael Granlund on his right and Drew O'Connor on his left. That puck was following O'Connor on Wednesday. I was even kind of kidding him about it. He's to the point he doesn't hate the media yet. He's enjoying us a little bit, or enjoying the attention. So that'll change, don't worry. But for now, I can still joke with him, and I have a standing agreement with him. I can just make up more interesting quotes if I need to. I kid, we would never do that, but it's, part of the little give and take we have. The puck was following him on Wednesday. He took it to the net. He went wide on those bull rushes, and he tried to split the defense for a breakaway. had a good one-timer. In fact, that good one-timer and the bull rush to the outside were both right after the Avalanche scored. Poehling zipping around the zone. He kind of gave me, sure, whatever, Dan. Whatever you say. Answer when I asked if he was a little bit faster since he came back from the injury. He certainly looks it to me. Maybe I didn't notice it back then. He was he retrieved that puck and fed it right to O'Connor, and Granlund was making those little plays that he makes. And, 3 scoring chances later, the Penguins had seized momentum from Colorado. What a huge 180-degree turn that was for these Penguins. And I knew the game was different after that first goal. Didn't know how different. This team has often imploded in the third period, but I knew it was different after that first goal. Maybe because this veteran team now finally, truly, undeniably has their back against the wall. Maybe now we'll see what they've got. Maybe now we'll see their best. Maybe now they'll provide that full team game. Maybe. It certainly didn't hurt to have those high stakes Wednesday night. And I thought everybody, all four lines, Jeff Carter included. Jeff Carter scores a power play goal. Did he fan on that? The press box in Colorado, let's say like this is the ice surface. Or maybe this is the ice surface. We're like up here, it was kind of an odd angle. We had difficulty seeing the Penguins' offensive zone 2 of the 3 periods. So oftentimes I had to kind of see what I saw, look up to the TV to confirm what I saw or learn what I didn't see. And TNT's broadcast was like a minute and a half behind. It was really far behind, which made the degree of difficulty a little higher. Jeff Carter, I thought, played a very solid game. His second straight solid game. Let's get to the Q&A, shall we? Kyle says, they need every one of these before Boston. I'll believe it more then. Oh, okay. Look, it's now kind of a 2 teams or 3 teams enter, 2 teams make it between the Islanders, Florida, and the Penguins. The Islanders are on a roll. Florida just concluded their roll. Maybe now it's time for the Penguins to get on the roll. I don't know what comes next. I'd love, if I knew what came next, I guess I can play the lottery, right? Kyle, I don't think they need to win all 4 games, although that surely wouldn't hurt, would it? I think they needed 3 points of these 2 games, these back-to-back. So they got 2 against Colorado. 2 will do. 3 of these back-to-backs would be great. And 4, well, maybe the Penguins shouldn't get greedy, but 4 points would put them in a pretty strong position. Roman Dago says, this game's just a blip, but screw it. I want to see playoff games. I appreciate your honesty. I know a lot of fans have just been pessimistic to the point of obnoxious, dour to the point of Chicken Little on cocaine. I get it. You've come this far, and it's difficult to not let hope seep in. It's, okay, make the playoffs. I can appreciate that. I really can. So I appreciate Roman being honest. Yeah, at this point, what does missing the playoffs mean? The draft pick, let's just say, a lot of you pessimists are absolutely 110% correct. Penguins make the playoffs and get just broomed in the first round. The difference in draft pick slotting is probably a couple, 2 or 3 at most. So why the hell not? Why not make the playoffs? Let's see here. Jeff Schroeffel on Twitter. See what I mean about getting angry at me instead of got nothing else to be angry about, so get angry at me. You're counting that blown BS effort against Ottawa as a good game? Did you watch it? You've got to be joking. Well, no, Jeff. What'd they have? 40, 49 shots? Yeah, they did not get enough to the net. Or get enough bodies to the net. Remember 2016? They played a very similar game to 2016 when they, won the Stanley Cup, and so much as they shot from everywhere. They so had the puck so often, and that was not by accident. They pursued the puck. They back-checked the daylights out of Ottawa. They forechecked, and that turned into an impressive forecheck, and all of those things. You don't get 49 shots by screwing around. They were a bit too much on the perimeter. But that's sometimes what you do. Or at least what you can do when you think you've got the goalie. Just pepper him from everywhere. Now, they didn't get that second puck. That's what Rickard Rakell said. That's what I reported. That's how I analyzed the game. That they didn't get that second puck, that rebound, that second chance, and all of those things you need to do to score goals. They knew that. They knew they played a near-perfect game except for that one thing. In fact, that was my headline. The one thing they didn't do. So yeah, I did watch the Ottawa game, and I wrote about 3,000 words on it, because I write about 500,000 words a month. That's how many words are in the Bible, by the way. I don't watch. I just look at Twitter and write off Twitter. Have a Jake shake, Jeff. Try to enjoy yourself a little bit. Josh Hauser says, Carter scores 2 goals and has no problem talking to the media afterward. Where's he been for the last 2 months? I jokingly said to a colleague after he scored the first goal, does that mean he has to talk now? And when he scored the second goal, he kind of had to face the media tonight. Would I have liked to have talked to him multiple times over the last few weeks? Yeah, I would have. And I think Penguins fans would have been maybe a little more forgiving for big Jeff Carter if they thought he was still one of them. If he still had that because look, Phil Kessel played some terrible hockey here in Pittsburgh before he got broomed out of town. And, he still maintained just enough of a communique with fans, through the media. Jeff Carter really has gone AWOL in that sense. So if I were his PR person, I'm not the Penguins PR. Please don't, if I were advising Jeff, I would have told him to talk a few more times. I asked the question. I said, Jeff, there's been some external criticism. You deflect a pass from Ryan Dumoulin, who's also received some of that same criticism. Was there any extra satisfaction or joy in that? He's like, nope. You guys, I don't care what you guys write. I really don't. Okay, fair enough. Then again, if he really didn't care what we wrote, he would have talked to us. I'm not ripping Jeff Carter. I probably would be a recluse as well. Nah, I'm an attention whore. I would have been talking. It is fair, but, this is a different day and age. Listen, 20 years ago in these tiny little cramped locker rooms, before the locker rooms were, plush carpeting and spread out, and you had 5 different, you have 5 different trainers and athletic equipment guys taking care of your every need. 20, 25, 40 years ago, they'd put a bucket of beer in the middle of the locker room after the game. Guys would sit there, crack a beer, and talk to reporters. Some reporters would even take part in the beer. It was much different. Now with social media, fans get a say immediately. So players don't really need to talk to the media to communicate with fans. If they really want to, they hop on social media. They can just go direct to fans, direct to team media. 20 years ago, team media was a brand new thing. A lot of teams didn't even have it. Why would we pay a reporter when there are 5 guys in the newspaper covering us? Then they realize they can control the narrative and the stories a whole lot easier when you've got your own little media thing. So now all teams do that. And I guess I'm getting in the weeds of my profession and my business a little bit. So where's Jeff Carter been for 2 months? Things haven't been good. He didn't want to face that question that I asked tonight, at least without some ammunition to come back. I mean, look, let's just say he talks after Montreal when he was 0 for 4, or not 0 for 4, -4, and was a prime culprit on at least 3 of those 4, if not all 4. What do I ask him? So, Jeff, tough night? You battling any injuries? How do you feel? How do you turn it around? Do you want those answers? Would you have believed him on any of the answers that he gave? No. So I don't know that he had the incentive to talk. I will tell you this. I graded Jeff Carter's line well against Ottawa. They even had a few chances against New York in the 6-0 game. Go figure. I graded him well against Ottawa, graded him well enough against Colorado. If you're a glass half full person or you want to look to the bright side, always look on the bright side of life. When life's a piece of whenever you look at it. Look at Jeff Carter playing pretty well with Drew O'Connor on that line. O'Connor his game is meshing well with Jeff Carter for this reason. O'Connor is not a puck distributor. O'Connor is a get the puck and go guy. He's both retrieval and rush. He's playing hard in the corners, and he is adding so much to that line with Archibald and Carter. If there is a spot to put Alex Nylander back in the lineup, I got some questions about that in the pregame. Why isn't Alex Nylander in the game? And the reality is Nylander didn't play very well. Those are the wrong words. Let me rephrase. Nylander kind of regressed to a very vanilla, unimpactful, not impactful game in his last 2 or 3 games. His first couple of games, you've got that adrenaline going. He back-checked like a demon. He still back-checked and was defensively responsible. But in none of the games was he a factor on the fun side of the red line. That's kind of a problem. You need to have a bit more of a complete game. Josh Archibald can play on the defensive side of the red line. If you put a guy like Alex Nylander in the game, you want to see him find the soft spots. You want to see him come off the wall, get to the net. You want to see him rip a shot from the circle that makes the goalie work. I don't know. I think without checking my notes, 1 or 2 scoring chances in 5 games. In his few games that he played, 1 or 2 scoring chances was really all that he had. And so, when the lineup gets healthy, look at what Ryan Poehling is bringing. Poehling, I think, has added infinite depth and some speed and penalty killing to the Penguins lineup. He's allowed Mike Sullivan to put Jeff Carter on the 4th line, which I know you like. So, where are you going to put Nylander? I think you might be able to slide him there, in Josh Archibald's place, because Archibald hasn't been very impactful or effective lately either. So that is the Q&A. Here's a question I'm going to leave for you. If you've watched this far, do you think the Penguins have any hope? Can they, in the final 9 games, pull it all together, make the playoffs, and go on a run? Can they do that? Or is the die so cast with this inconsistency and these maddening mistakes and all of this stuff? Can they do it? Or do you think against Dallas the ugly monster will rear its head and they'll look like an awful team again? That's your question. That's kind of the hypothetical or the rhetorical question I ask in the report card as well. I'll edit that out later. All right, that is the Penguins Q&A. And if you see the edit, that means I decided to remove the comment I just made because I know it would be bad for business. And you're like, what did he say? What did he say? I criticized a national competitor. That's what I did. And maybe I shouldn't have. So that's everything from my hotel here in Denver. I'll be on my way to Dallas tomorrow morning and home to Pittsburgh on Friday. We'll record 11 on the ice and then final word. And the Penguins play the Stars on Thursday, and then they've got the Capitals, and oh boy, I guess it could be fun. All right, take care, kids. Have fun.